Welcome to Physics 151. This semester I will be your instructor. My name is Lisa Knight. Just a little bit about me. I've been teaching for 28, almost 29 years. I started out as a high school instructor. I have a master's in education and I have a master's in physics education, that is, and I also have a master's in instructional design. I attended both UNC Chapel Hill and East Carolina University. I really love teaching at the community college level. I find it really rewarding to work with the community college student, whether you're a high school student dual enrolled or a student that's taking this class to avoid or to replace a course that you've taken at a university, or whether you are in a technology program and you are required to take this course. I love working with each and every one of you, and I have a lot of admiration for the community college student. Let me tell you a little bit about this course. This is an algebra-based first semester course in physics, and it does transfer. You do have to have Math 171 or higher to take it. And it is a 5 contact hour course. There's 3 contact hours for your lecture and 2 contact hours for the lab. So that means that since it is completely online, that you should expect to spend 10 to 15 hours a week, maybe even 20 hours a week on the course itself. Let's talk a little bit about how it's structured. So there are 7 modules, and a start here or getting started module and an exam review module. And when you look at the course, it's organized in a very similar manner. Let's just look at module 3, for example. You'll have a list of the skills that you need to be able to demonstrate at the end of the module. You'll have a link to your reading and a link to a video that talks about how to do the lab. And I cannot stress how important it is for you to actually watch that lab video. Also notice that there are 2 due dates for the module. So the module is 2 weeks long, and there's one at the end of the first module week and end of the second module week. You have 3 assignments, so let's go out of student mode right now. And take a look at it so you can see. You'll see that you have 3 graded assignments. You have a worksheet in this module that you will be answering the questions to. You have a discussion forum, and you have the lab assignment. So notice that anywhere you see these bold-faced links, these are actual hyperlinks to something that you need to go to outside of the class. You have lecture videos that are teacher-made, and I cannot stress how important it is for you to read these and take notes, because I have aligned the worksheets and the activities that you're doing with these videos. So it's very important that you do watch these videos. They are not just there, they are your lecture videos. I also have a review practice section that has a couple of games that you can play to help you review just the basic concepts. And then you'll see that your forum is here, and notice that you'll need to read the information very carefully, and then you will need to look at how it will be graded. So it's really important for you to understand that the initial post for your discussions is always due on the first due date for the module. So in this case, it's due on 9/19, and then you'll have to make either 1 or 2 replies depending on the instructions, and we'll be looking for posts on different days. So it's very important that you understand how that will be graded. So if you have to make an initial post and reply to 1 person, then I would be looking for 2 different days of dates in your posts. Your homework will either be a web assign or a worksheet. So here's an example of a worksheet, and there's a link to the worksheet here. And then there's a link to the grade rubric for how I grade the problems. And you will be required to complete this worksheet in its entirety, showing all work, making sure the answers have units on them and that they are rounded to 3 significant digits. And later on in the course, if you need to draw vector diagrams, you need to draw those correctly as well. So there are, in this particular one, there's 9 problems, and they're worth 10 points each. And you'll want to make sure that you show all work. If you do not show any work, you won't get credit. And make sure that you read the directions carefully, because in this particular activity, the directions need to be polar angles. So you have to make sure that they're polar angles. When I grade the worksheets, I will make a very detailed feedback, and it will either be an audio feedback or written feedback annotating your document, and you'll be able to find those if you click on the grade in the grade book. The other thing you have is a lab, and so there will be a link to the lab here in the overview, and this is on Pivot. And like I said, it's very important for you to watch that lab instruction video, because it tells you very specifically how to collect data, what the graph should look like, how to make the graph. It even answers a lot of the questions from the lab. So it's very important for you to watch this video before you actually do the lab. Now, the labs will always be due the first week of the module, and that is to allow me to look over them and give you feedback. And you will go to Pivot and you will open up the lab, and if I ask you to revise it, it will say revise, and then you can revise it, and this way you are ensured of making 100 on the lab. If you get it done by that initial due date, which is when it is due, then you can redo that work. The worksheet and the homework will always be due the second due date. So basically all of the modules look the same way. The day after I grade things, I will open up the solutions to any homework you have, or after you make your initial post, I will post, if it is a problem forum, which it could be, where you've been assigned 2 problems to do similar to your homework, I will post the solutions to the problems there as well. Another thing that you want to remember is that we have office hours on Mondays from 9 to 10, and those office hours are really important to contact me. I'm here, I'm available for you, and if you don't see me in the office, just shoot me a text to my Google voice number. So let me just talk about the very first thing you have to do in this class is you have to do the Getting Started section. And you'll be watching this video, and you'll print out the syllabus and read it. You'll want to open up the course orientation and read each page of it. And this is on the very second page is where you see my Google Voice number. This is really how I prefer you to contact me, because I am literally a distance adjunct. I am not a full-time employee at Brunswick. I do work full-time in Central Carolina in Sanford. So sometimes I don't see all my emails. I get a lot of junk email and might miss yours. But if you text me, and it's a free text, doesn't cost anything, just text me, tell me who you are and what class you're in, and ask me your question, most of the time I can give you an answer immediately. Otherwise, if you email me, you may not hear from me right away, and that may be frustrating to you. So please text me via my Google Voice number. When you are done going through the course orientation, then you will want to register for our WebAssign homework and for our Pivot Interactives lab homework. You'll want to go to the bookstore and get the access codes for these. You can get Pivot directly from their website, cheaper. It's only like $10 or $15. The bookstore will be a little bit more than that. And then the very first thing you need to do is this enrollment assignment quiz, which is basically a syllabus and course policies quiz. You'll want to make an 80 on this or higher, and once you get that score, and you can take it as many times as you want to, then everything else will open and you will see the introduction forms, and you want to introduce yourself here. And then you can get started on Module 1, which is due the following week. So you want to go ahead and get started on here. You don't want to get behind. And in terms of late work policy, I really don't accept late work. But I do realize that it is true. You guys have a lot of obligations. Things happen. And if you contact me within 24 hours of missing the assignment, then I will be glad to consider your situation. And if it becomes a regular problem, then we may have to have a more serious discussion about whether it's wise for you to stay in the class at all. And the other thing that I would like to mention to you is that you will have an extra credit assignment. It will be here. It will be the last thing under module resources. It will be a journal entry where you literally just reflect on the week, actually the whole module. You'll reflect on anything that's going on in your life, anything you're having challenges with, anything you enjoyed, in 3 to 4 sentences. And just by completing that by the due date, the final due date for the module, you will earn a point, or actually 2 points of extra credit on your exam. So this can be significant. If there's 8 extra credit opportunities, you could earn up to 16 points on your exam, and your exam is required. It is an online exam. It will have a 2-hour time limit, and you will want that extra credit because it is 30% of your grade. So even if you had 100 and you didn't take the exam, you would fail because it's required. But if you had 100 going into it and you took it and you made a terrible grade, you know, just remember that's 30% of your grade. If you had a 0, you know, if by magical thing you made a complete 0 on it, then you would only have a 70 in the class. So you just want to make sure that you do complete that exam, and that you do the extra credit assignments as well. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I want to help you. That's what I'm here for.